350. Don't fall on. What up, man? Now we gonna talk that real shit. Real shit. They gonna
going on, people, and welcome back to the JONETH PIPTNE podcast. I'm your host, of course, JONETH PIPTNE, and we are talking about the Week 3 matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. And, of course, this is another return for Lovie Smith to come to Chicago, and this time he's going to definitely be looking forward to getting a victory against the Chicago Bears. Of course, the last time we saw Lovie Smith in the league, he was head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they was in their horrible years at the time. So now they come in. Of course, the Bears is 1-1. Texans is 0-2. And it's a matchup of what I've been hearing from the narrative so far, even though the narrative might not be far off of the battle of the bottom tier teams. So that's basically what we've been hearing so far. And the question is the Bears a bottom tier team or is they slightly above? We don't know right now. It's still early in the goddamn season. But what we do know is the Chicago Bears did come off a horrible loss last week. And the Texans, of course, still lost their game as well. So can the Bears get back into the win column? We don't know right now, but we're just hoping that it does pan out their way. Of course, I've been hearing a lot of comparisons between Davis Mills and Justin Fields, and where do they be even at, and where do Davis Mills basically take the cake over Justin Fields? Of course, if you've been watching football, then you know that at least Davis Mills, no matter if he throws picks or he throws touchdowns, he does indeed sling it. He slings the ball. He's gonna sling that ball. And if you've been watching football, of course, Bears football specifically, then you know already that Justin Fields tends to hold the ball and he doesn't sling it even when he has open receivers. And then when he do finally sling it, he does it late and it possibly ends up becoming an interception. A lot of the same things that he did last year, he is still doing again this year. And that's one of the things that I just really don't like, and I've been hearing all week if he has it, if he doesn't have it. Heard it from former Bears player Patrick Manley that played for the Bears for like 16 years, that he possibly don't have it. He hoping that he does, but they basically saying that there's a small chance that Justin Fields could be a bust. Do I think that so far? No, but it is what it is. But now let's get on to the matchups. And basically the keys to the game for both teams. Let's start off with the Houston Texans. First thing they got to do, establish the run. That's one thing that Lovie Smith always been able to do. That's one thing he always preached on doing, is establishing the run. And that's what the Houston Texans are going to do because, of course, the Bears is dead last in stopping the run. They gave up almost 400 yards over the past 2 weeks, 166 one week, 203 the following week. So the Bears is giving up a large amount of yards over the past couple of weeks. And I'm pretty sure the Houston Texans is going to try to establish the run and get Davis Mills out there comfortable as possible. Next thing that I just said, get Davis Mills comfortable as possible. Allow him to be able to sling that ball out there. Yes, at home, he's like 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, but on the road, his home and road splits is way different, and his road splits is very, very pedestrian. And the Bears can take advantage of that only if they can stop the run. You have to make Davis Mills pass the ball a lot, and if you're able to do that, you're able to come up with some turnovers, and that's exactly what they can do. But that's only if that happens. If not, Davis Mills can and will throw for 300-plus yards on the Chicago Bears. He's done it against some of the best teams in the league. He's done it since he came into the league, and he can provide that for you. He can give you 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's the capability that Davis Mills do have. And thirdly, for Houston Texans, what they have to do is cause turnovers. That's one of the things that Lovie Smith have always preached. Get turnovers. Us as Chicago Bears fans and the Chicago Bear organization should know that that's one of the main things that Lovie Smith has always preached. Get turnovers. Now, will this Houston Texans team be able to do it? I do not know. I don't know how much the Bears coaches is preaching that to the Chicago Bears offensive players. Like, listen, Lovie Smith is gonna want to cause turnovers. Make sure to have two hands on the ball at all times. Make sure you have it on there. The moment you have one arm free, they're gonna try to rip that ball out. So that's one of the main things that the Bears are gonna have to make sure that they key on offensively. Once you get possession of the football, keep that possession of the football because those players has probably been practicing all week and all since Lovie Smith showed up to punch that ball out. So that's one of the main things they're going to have to make sure that they do. Now, when you move on to the keys to the game for the Chicago Bears, it's almost as similar as it is with the Houston Texans. Number one, got to establish that run to protect Justin Fields because Justin Fields just don't look like he ready to go out there and pass the ball on a consistent basis. Either that or the offense is just not doing it because the offensive line is so shaky in terms of pass protection. But you're definitely going to have to get David Montgomery back out there just like you did last week. But in order to make it a lot better, you just have to make sure that you do not, and I repeat, do not take him out of the game if he starts off hot. Do not put Khalil Herbert in the goddamn game if David Montgomery is playing his heart out right now and going out there and just running people over and busting off of big ass runs. It's not what I want to see out there. These punk ass people. But anyways, let me get to moving a little bit. I probably should move, but I'm not. But yeah, but just make sure that to get David Montgomery the ball as much as possible, early as possible, until they're able to stop it. That way, Justin Fields is able to establish play action pass, which is key number two, and be able to get the ball deep downfield. You have a deep throwing quarterback. Make sure that you put your players in position so that he can throw it deep. But of course, in order to do that, you have to be able to hit those intermediate throws. You have to allow him to actually throw those intermediate throws, and he has to make sure that he is not so goddamn scared out there. You have to allow him to be able to throw the football a little bit more. He can't be throwing the football 26 times in two goddamn games and expect to win. Through 17 times, first game of the season, and then after that, what, through 7, 8 passes, maybe 9 passes, something like that. I don't know. I just know that that's not good. He completed 15 passes out of all of that. The Bears have to find a way to basically establish something because if you cannot do that, the offense is just not going to work. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. If you are giving these pedestrian plays out there in terms of passing and the quarterback is not able to go out there and execute, maybe you need to move on to a different quarterback. Hopefully that's not the case because Justin Fields just got drafted and we don't need to have another bust out there. But things have to be established. Key number three, the Bears have to stop the run. They finally have to stop the run. They have not been able to do that for the past 2 weeks. Switching from a 3-4 defense to a 4-3 defense, it does present a different type of challenge. With a 4-3 defense, you have to so many guys have to have so many responsibilities in terms of the D linemen. They can't just be pass rushing all the time. Sometimes they have to make sure they're able to bust up the backfield and be able to stop the run. But it seems like the Bears right now do not have those type of players, but they're gonna have to find a way to get it done. Because if the Bears defense cannot find a way to get it done in terms of stopping the run, it does not matter if you try to get to the passer. If you burnt out from always getting gashed up the field, it's going to be easy for David Miller to be able to stand in the pocket and just have the ball go straight down the field. We already seen it happen with the Packers. We've seen it happen a little bit with the 49ers, just the simple fact that Trey Lance, who is now injured and gone for the rest of the season, didn't have the experience to be able to keep doing that to the Bears all week. I mean, all game. So you have a more experienced quarterback, a better quarterback, and David Miller than Trey Lance, but now, of course, is not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but someone that is still fully capable of throwing the ball a lot and throwing it for many yards. So that Bears defense is going to have to be able to stop their run. If they're able to stop their run, then guess what? Then they'll be able to peel the areas back and be able to get to the quarterback and get a lot of sacks. They were able to get a few sacks on Aaron Rodgers. They were able to get a few sacks on Trey Lance. So the pass rush has shown that they able to get there over the past couple of weeks. But what they're going to have to be able to do is stop the run. They're able to stop that run, then it make everything else balance out. It makes it easier for your cornerbacks to be able to stay on the receivers, because then they know the difference whether it's going to be a pass or a run. But only how if you stop the run right away. Now, when it comes down to predictions for the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans, as everyone know, I give out 2 predictions every single time. You know, I can give out the most likely scenario, and I can give out the worst case scenario. So, worst case scenario, Houston goes in there and wipes the floor with the Chicago Bears. Do I believe it's going to happen? No. But I didn't think the Packers was going to beat the Bears by 10 plus points. I knew the Bears was going to lose. I said it already. I said I'm picking the Packers to win that game. I can't be delusional and say that they was going to win. You know, if they did, I was going to be surprised. But I was like, hey, it is what it is. But now when it come down to the Bears and Houston Texans, worst case scenario, Houston just beat the brakes off the Bears. So they're able to run the ball up and down the field, and that allowed for David Mills to be able to pass the ball and just destroy the Bears right off back. That's the simplest thing that can happen. Now, best case scenario and what I believe is going to happen, the Bears win this game 20-13. That's what I believe. That is also the best case scenario, but this is definitely what I believe is going to happen. That Bears going to be able to stop the run here and there. They're going to be able to stop the run a lot more this week than they've been able to do against the Packers and the 49ers. And they're going to be able to get to David Mills just like they've been able to get to Aaron Rodgers and also get to Trey Lance when he played in week 1 against the 49ers. The Bears are going to be able to get those stops. But what most importantly is they're going to get turnovers. They're going to get more turnovers. They're going to continue to get turnovers like they've been able to do the past 2 weeks. The Bears will be able to find turnovers whether the team makes a mistake or they're able to capitalize on errant throws. That's going to still happen this week. And I believe there's going to be a defensive touchdown that's going to be the key difference, or a special teams touchdown or something like that for the Bears is going to be the key difference in this game. I believe that the Bears offense is going to be able to move the football a little bit better because the run game going to be more established, and Justin Fields will be able to sling the ball down the field just a little bit more than he's been able to do over the past couple of weeks. But it's still going to be more of the same, and it's going to be the same questions that's going to be talked about each and every week about will the Chicago Bears be able to let Justin Fields do his thing, and is Justin Fields going to be even capable of doing this thing out there for the Chicago Bears? But that is what I do believe that can happen in this game, and what will happen in this game that the Bears actually will win it, but it's going to be a tough road ahead going into the weeks. You know, a lot of optimistic Bear fans said the Bears is going to win 10, 11 games. I looked at the schedule just because of the schedule. I said the Bears at best case scenario wins 9, 10 games, best case, but I typically looked at it and said 5 to 7. But I do believe that this can be one of 5 or 7 for the Chicago Bears to win the game. But until then, you know, I have to catch y'all next time. Unless you just definitely want to listen to a little bit of Molly and Hall, 670 The Score, which is courtesy of 670score.com. And you can listen to them, and they can tell you a little bit more of what they think about what's going on with the Chicago Bears. I gave my predictions and everything else, but that's what I believe what will happen. The Bears will win the game, but it's going to be tough sledding ahead. But we're just going to call it a day, people. So once again, thank you for tuning in to the JONETH PIPTNE podcast. Of course, your host, JONETH PIPTNE, telling you about the week 3 prediction between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Hopefully, the Bears is able to turn out and do something. But if not, if they were to lose this game, you know, it is what it is. Hey there, Queen. How you doing? Nice to see you this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you this morning. Always good to see family on her. But yeah, people, just hopefully the Bears can do something. If not, it is what it is. You know, the Bears establish this type of roster, and you got to pay for it. Sometimes you just got to pay. So once again, this is Jonathan Piptne bringing it back to you with the prediction with the Chicago Bears taking on the Houston Texans. And also make sure to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel as well. But always make sure to hit that like button and make sure to get the algorithm to keep going and keep moving. So then more people can be able to watch the video and watch the prediction video between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. All right, people. Peace out.
4-5, gon' pitch your spine on the other side. It come out your lip, you heard what I said. I ain't even off a jigger, this shit get different.